Oh yeah. Good luck to you in Thailand. This is continuation of I posted the video Yugoslavia in a nutshell, what exactly Yugoslavia was. I'm gonna put this video right under video I'm creating now, and I wasn't sure how I would start this stuff, but there are different ways to get it done. And so his name is KRISTJAN GOLUBOVIĆ. This is not video about the KRISTJAN GOLUBOVIĆ. This is not video about the KRISTJAN GOLUBOVIČ. He's now age 55. He's about 2 years older than I am. He's got his Wikipedia channel here. And as is written here, this is a Serbian personality and a criminal. This is the guy that is going to have to go to the court to defend himself for a lot of crime he committed against me. But this is not the video about KRISTJAN GOLUBOVIČ. Born to Srboljub Milanka Golubović, Serb gastarbeiter living in Munich, KRISTJAN did not meet father until primary school, since he was away serving a long-term prison sentence for taking part in various criminal activities. Golubović moved to Belgrade, Serbia, with his mother and sister in 1987. What do they say here about father being imprisoned in Goli Otok prison? Who the hell was then the person with the mom in Germany in that case? I don't understand that part. That's the part I don't understand at all. Golubović was Goli Otok prison. Now that's something I was actually not aware about. Golubović being his father on the Goli Otok prison. I don't understand that part. That's the part I don't get it. That's not essential right now. This here is essential. Golubović moved to Belgrade, to the Serbia. This used to be Yugoslavia in 1987. Just remember this year, 1987. This is not the video about Golubović. It says here the Golubović is a Serbian personality and a criminal, etc., etc. There are criminals in Slovenia much worse than KRISTJAN GOLUBOVIČ, and they go out there and they serve terms in Slovenia as presidents, as the prime ministers. This is a video about Borut Pahor. This is a video about this guy. He was directly connected to the criminals, to the gangsters. I did talk to you about the JOSIP BROZ TITO. I also talked to you about the KRISTJAN GOLUBOVIČ, how it was in the Germany. I did explain something. I actually explained a lot about what was it in Yugoslavia. You're going to have to watch this video below. In fact, it's probably the video you should watch first. And yeah, Belgrade was not only a capital. Belgrade had 3 flea markets, from what I understand, in Yugoslavia. 3, not even 2. 3 of them. The 2 were the flea markets where you would purchase from the organized crime, from the mafia stuff. Otherwise, not acceptable to you for the costs of whatever was selling inside of the stores. You could get anywhere from the TVs, from the VCRs, from the car stereo radios, anything you fucking wanted. Absolutely anything you wanted. Josip Broz Tito was a king of mafia in Yugoslavia. I did spoke to you about how he smuggled gold, jewelry to Italy. I did talk to you about how Josip Broz Tito had a family in the city of the Trieste. I did talk to you about his family in the Trieste that he would go visit. I did talk to you about his visits to the jewelers, during the visits to the family in Italy, in Trieste. This is right on the border with what used to be Yugoslavia. See, there was no Slovenia and Croatia and Bosnia, etc. This was all Greater Serbian Chetnik state known as Yugoslavia before that. And this is the city. Josip Broz Tito is Italian president. Josip Broz Tito was heavily involved with Italian elite. Sergio Mattarella knew Josip Broz Tito. He met him during my childhood. He met him in my presence. All the Italian prime ministers, presidents were meeting Josip Broz Tito not only in Belgrade or in other countries or during Illuminati meetings, but Josip Broz Tito was a frequent guest in Rome. I was heavily tortured in Rome when I was practically a baby. Josip Broz Tito had a powerful establishment in Rome. However, they were observing him with suspicion. This is not precisely a video about Josip Broz Tito. This is a video foremost about this guy here. His name is Borut Pahor. This was a crime boss, this guy. This was a main criminal pin youth educated for the crime redistribution throughout Yugoslavia. If you wanted to be a UDBA or KGB guy, you have to have foremost a powerful background in organized crime. That means that you have to know the gangsters, criminals, a criminal network from Serbia, from Yugoslavia. Serbs were the leaders of organized crime. In Yugoslavia, the most powerful criminal gangs were from the Serbia, and Serbia is still leading the way even today through its independence. Second one in line, that was a deputy of Milan Kučan. That's a Milan Kučan. Milan Kučan knew absolutely all about his teacher directly from Josip Broz Tito. I told you about Borut Pahor. He wanted one job. He wanted to be a chief of the UDBA, of the KGB in Yugoslavia. That was his dream job. His dream job had fallen short. Borut Pahor is dream job, I'm sorry to state that have fallen short. Borut Pahor was not drilled to be a UDBA, a KGB boss in Yugoslavia. They upgraded his status, this individual that you see right there, and he's going to answer this stuff to the police. He will confirm this stuff to the police. This guy here was already appointed to become a president of Yugoslavia. Borut Pahor was appointed, was already selected to become, was already on the candidate list to become a president of the SFRJ, Socialist Federative Republic of the Yugoslavia. I upgraded the claims about previous claims that I suggested that he was selected to be a KGB boss, UDBA, OZNA boss in Yugoslavia. I upgraded these claims. because sometimes in 1982, probably 1982, I was about I was just maybe 10 years of age, 11, 12 years of age, 1984. He was selected for top jobs in Yugoslavia. In 1984, in 1982, it was a climax of the organized crime of the people that are employed here inside. Some of whom are still employed inside in here. That's a Novo Mesto police station. I told you about the Novo Mesto police station. They were located on another location that is inside of the city, right next to the courthouse. You just got to watch the video that I mentioned. I'm going to put right underneath this video for you to understand more closely about what went on. They anticipated this video. This was the video which Miran Sudin was explicitly afraid of. This video. They anticipated this video. They awaited this video, and this is the video that if this video doesn't take these people into a prison, then I don't know what exactly can put these people inside of the prison, so that you're gonna see what kind of prime ministers, presidents they selected, Slovenes selected for their presidents and prime ministers in the so-called independent Slovenia. It should be here. This is Jerebova. This here it should be, right? No, I'm not here correctly. Ah, shit. Mirana Jarca. Yeah. Let's do this again. It is important. It is important. It's very important. For me, this is very important because there is people who still work, I anticipate, inside of this police station that did the stuff I will point out to you. There is still people that are employed at the Novo Mesto police station. I do believe they are still in there. This is a police station we're talking about. This is an old police station. It's like this. Let me turn the camera on a little bit. You're gonna have to remember this guy here. Basically the people I talk a lot about. You're gonna have to remember this guy here. This guy is actually really funny. Now when I think about this guy, is really funny. He's really a comedian, truly a comedian. This guy here, you already know him. This is the Slovenian Prime Minister, Robert Golob. This one is age 58, and this one here is age 61. Look at that, from Novo Mesto city where I am from. But he is the same age as Borut Pahor. He is the same age as Borut Pahor, if you notice this stuff. Well, now it's time to turn the cameras on. I did spoke to you about the Milan Kučan. You already know about this man here. This was the first Slovenian president, Milan Kučan. Yeah, the video below is very short, but it's a really state-of-the-art video. It's exactly the way it was, exactly as I explained. They were robbing the people who were selling the merchandise even on the flea markets. I'm talking about the police, and I'm talking about the people, KGB people, OZNA people, bodyguards, people that were in circles of Josip Broz Tito, people who accompanied security, the Yugoslav state security people. Let me just give you a little image here so that, you know, like a Stasi basically, you know, OZNA, UDBA, the same shit like a KGB. Short for OZNA, UDBA. This is just short for the KGB. Oh, look at this beautiful suit here. All right, I don't remember much suits like that. A little bit, but this did not really make, I don't know what kind of impression on me. They did have the suits though. They liked the leather jackets and stuff like that. That was the thing. Comedians, but this was not really comedians. This was anywhere from searching for the people who violate, you know, anything. Sometimes you didn't even have to say anything to be guilty. I did explain what Yugoslavia was, and you know, it just happened so that the man that you see right there was a criminal, a hardcore criminal. This was the most corrupt individual in entire Yugoslavia, and he liked me because I promoted corruption. He liked me because I promoted corruption. He was certain that without the corruption nothing is happening, and he definitely wanted to get ahead of the Soviets. He wanted for Yugoslavia to be the best in the Eastern Europe, and really workers got machines, markets to sell the merchandise, etc., etc., etc. But this guy was extremely unethical. This was really animal, true animal. If there was an animal, this guy was a hardcore animal. And I don't know whether the Russians were crazier or he was crazier. Sometimes I even wanted to trade Yugoslavia with Russia. It was times when I felt that I would be better off inside of the Soviet Union. This is how fucking insane this was. But this was the biggest boss of the police in Slovenia this year. And another one who also was just as involved as Milan Kučan, it was this one here. All these guys were involved in it. All visited our house. This is Stane Dolanc. And then you have all these biggest shots. This was the closest one to me, this one here, the Edvard Kardel. A Slovenian guy. Edvard Kardel. No, none of these people liked me, man. None of these people liked me. This is who was coming to us. This is whom I associated myself with. This is who was around me, etc., etc., etc. This man, this was the biggest boss, the biggest ticket of Josip Broz Tito in Slovenia. This was the boss of the police. This was everything. His closest colleague, Stanovnik, this guy here, I swear even this guy was afraid of him. This guy was for the Slovenian National Resistance Liberation Front. Man, if you were not afraid of this guy, he is a small guy, but this guy could get you killed so quickly that it's fucking incredible how this guy could make you disappear. This guy was more dangerous than anybody. This was extremely, extremely dangerous individual, this guy. This was not a joke. These guys were powered, motivated by proving themselves to JOSIP, BROZ, TITO, and to the society, and to their idols, socialism, communism, ideology. And the guy like this would kill you like a fly on the wall. I mean, in a split of the second, you were fucking gone, but dead. This was, I don't know. If I didn't explain well on the blog, I think I did. Anyhow, this guy knew everything on in and out. He couldn't be a police boss if you did not know anything in and out about organized Yugoslav crime. Yugoslavia had crime tentacles spread throughout entire Europe, especially, however, they were strong in the Germany and the Austria, Italy. Germany and Austria, this is where they were strong. Italy was to sell the stuff, maybe also some robbery and stuff like that, but Austria and Germany, this is where the Yugoslav immigrated the most. This was the thing for the Yugoslavia. This is what gangsters traveled to the Austria and to the Germany the most. This was the main thing, the Austria and the Germany. This they would get in your house, put the gun on your forehead, luckily would not kill you in the sleep, and take the entire fucking house out during your sleep, or even your vacation, or whatever the case might be. And all this shit then traveled directly through Slovenia and Croatia, through the Zagreb, through Ljubljana, through Zagreb. It traveled directly down to the Belgrade. They would not be selling. Milan Kučan is going to all confirm all about this together with the Borut Pahor, who was in charge for this stuff. This man is going to all explain to the police about the stuff I'm talking about. Together, my friends, you're going to do this. You're going to do this for me because you like me so much. I know that you guys like me. Together with the GREGOR GOLOBIČ, and where is Robert Golob? Is here with Robert Golob. This is now the Slovenian Prime Minister. I started to like this stuff I do. I really started to like this stuff I do. This stuff was not accessible to you in Slovenia, and it was not accessible to you in Zagreb because it was too close to the Austria. It was too close to Italy, to the Austria, foremost Austria, because they were afraid. The German police did travel also to Slovenia. They did found German police as far as Ljubljana and even Zagreb. Let me talk to you guys a little bit. We're going to do a little hard talk here. We're going to do a little bit business here. Yeah, you're talking to the crime. I'm not a crime boss, but I was the witness to the crime bosses in what was known as Yugoslavia. They had a German and Austrian police detectives that traveled to Ljubljana, to Zagreb. They traveled to, what is the fuck, Samobor or whatever it is, and they scanned these areas, they scanned these areas, make sure, they wanted to know what the fuck is happening, because this was a river of crime. It was a river of robberies. We said they flooded, Germany was flooded with the Yugoslav raids, with Josip Broz Tito, with the comrade Josip Broz Tito, who unleashed his potential through the Germany to ransack, steal, rob, fuck everything up, whatever they possibly could. They would travel to the Germany where they would already have their gangsters, and the only thing they would do is they would load the stuff on camionetas, whatever, cars, truck, and fuck back to zoom to Yugoslavia and straight to the Belgrade. Maybe, let me demonstrate you, just maybe, baby, just as I was told, maybe there will be maybe even some VCR, some stuff like this that will also appear on the flea market here in Sarajevo, you know. One criminal market of the 3 in the Belgrade. How the fuck would I know this if I was only once, supposedly I was only once in Belgrade, and that was for the funeral of the JOSIP BROZ TITO. Mother loaded me with a Krka pharmaceutical on a train, and she made me travel to the Belgrade with a train. And it was disgusting. It was unforgettable, disgusting trip. One market that existed in the Belgrade was not even legally, people would not even know. This is so fucked up. The 2 markets, one market was the main flea market, maybe there would be also something sold like that, and then there was a second market, which was highly dubious, highly criminal market, the stuff like this would go. And then there was that third market, and that was the most criminal market. The chances were that on that market where you would go to collect the stuff in Belgrade, you would be actually even collecting for maybe half of the cost of what would cost you inside of the store, whatever, or maybe even less. Maybe you would be collecting the TVs and VCRs and stuff, maybe even from the dead people, even from the probably maybe killed people during the robbery. This was a bloody business. This was a so bloody business that puts to shame Italian gambinos, Calabria and all this stuff that you hear, oh, Calabria, Sicily, Sicilia, and so on. This shit, I am talking about the mafia, puts to shame Italian mafia. This was a General Motors of organized crime. Can you fucking imagine that fucking entire Yugoslavia, not entire Yugoslavia, that they live from the stolen stuff, but Serbia, entire Serbia was, and also good parts of the Bosnia, they were practically surviving on this shit. This was practically the store. Where the fuck was the store? The Gambino market practically over there, somewhere in the Belgrado. You know what I mean? That's Belgrade. This is a lot of people, oh wow, Yugoslavia, yeah. Just for those of you, I'm not going to even get into this stuff. Watch this video, the video that I post down below here, to understand what the fucking Yugoslavia was, okay? Because in Yugoslavia, you were working on the flea market, or you had your private store, you would have a KGB official, state security guy walk inside of the fucking store, not only in the flea market, and they would start to load themselves, and they would steal everything. And before they would steal, they would pull you on the side, and they would ask you, where did you buy this? Show me the receipt. Do you have the license to sell this and that and so on? Yeah, and now you have a choice. You can go to jail, you can pay super financial fines, or you just allow the guy to just load himself with the fucking merchandise and kiss your ass goodbye. You know what I mean? If you are really nice and you let him steal a lot of stuff, he might actually help you sell the stuff, his stuff and so on, that is already stolen and so on. You have no fucking idea about what mafia is, about what organized crime is, if you were not in Yugoslavia. You think that Italian mafia, they taught us inside of the school, oh, Italian mafia collect the money every month. You must pay the money every month they come to collect the money for the protection, etc., etc. Just see the fucking Yugoslavia, how the Yugoslavia was run. And then you would understand what the fuck it means. What did you think about my parents when they were buying the stuff just for the stuff to be destroyed deliberately and so on, or to be stolen? Had a KGB guy who demanded from mother or father to buy certain watch or whatever, so just so they could steal it and for their children and stuff like this. You have no fucking idea what you talk. Watch this video here, what Yugoslavia was. This garbage here from Novo Mesto police station, the so-called police station in the Novo Mesto. these garbagers here, they try to convince people that this was just in my case, etc. It just pertained to my case. The thing is, this shit went on all over the Yugoslavia. This shit happened to the people in Macedonia. It happened to Albanians in Kosovo. It happened to the Bosniaks in Bosnia, or to the Croat in Croatia. The Serbs were chieftains of the Yugoslavia. You have no fucking idea. These were the tsars of the Yugoslavia. You have a citizenship. Actually, you have the citizenship like myself. Then you have some kind of citizenship. And then you are a Serb. And that's a different category from the rest of the Yugoslavs in the Yugoslavia republics, etc., etc. So, but today we're talking about this guy here. We're talking today, let me put these birds together. We talk today about this bird here. He became a Slovenian prime minister. And we talk today about this bird here. He's actually really comedian. When I consider this here stuff that I see here with the black glasses, and that he posed to me in the name of the psychiatric hospital if I would not keep my mouth shut, etc., etc. This is fucking hilarious. This guy is a fucking comedian. Surely is a comedian. Comedian because this just happened, so that became the main robber, the main gangster of all the so-called communists involved in this case. And this shit doesn't stop here. This goes to others. It goes to the Školč. However, Školč was afraid. Školč was not the right material for this kind of stuff. But this one here, this one, and the main one who had the initiative, who was totally talented for this stuff, was Robert Golob. Robert Golob personally have stolen car radios, have proven himself personally to the Milan Kučan, have personally proven himself to the Borut Pahor. And Borut Pahor was the one who introduced. Borut Pahor was only the one, always the one who, whatever was something new that they wanted to test, they had to learn about, he would be the one who would introduce the issue. And so the robberies of, really the robberies, burglaries of the stuff, of the cars, car theft of the car radios and stuff like this shit started sometimes in 1980, something like this. Through the police, with assistance of the police, they got the training about how to steal the car radios and that kind of stuff. That's what they were doing. This is what these people were doing. And this guy here certainly have stolen few items, but not many items. And I know that he was not only selected to be a potential boss, number one for the state security, for the UDBA, for the entire Yugoslavia. And I know because he pulled on the side this guy here, Robert Golob. He pulled Robert Golob on the side when he started to do crime, and cited one, giving him a citation, explaining him that robbing the stuff, doing this kind of stuff, after he already was selected to become, I don't know, they have some very important function also for the Robert Golob, which however I don't know what it was. This was Yugoslavia. And these people certainly did not know there would be such a thing like a Slovenia. These people had no fucking clue that the picture about their Yugoslavia is going to turn totally upside down, sour. They had no fucking clue about it. But I remember that he prevented him, and I remember that Borut Pahor cried that he already made a crime, he not supposed to, and that stuff might actually cost him even the presidential job. He was selected, Borut Pahor was selected to become also president of the Yugoslavia. Boss of the UDBA, of the KGB, but also the boss of the Yugoslavia, or one of the two. Either one of the two, if you if you select it, you cannot go with a criminal record or with the people noticing the stuff from the past that would become evident. Now, well, everybody have forgotten about that stuff. Now, the best one, the most talented criminal, however, became this one here. It was totally unlikely because this guy behaved like an angel. And he also behaved like a little semi-retarded, you know. He was an excellent psychologist. Do you see the way he looks? Look at that. The way he looks with his eyes, with his face. Let's pay a little attention to the way he looks. You see, the Delo Zeitung got him a beautiful, beautiful article, a beautiful picture. Isn't he cute? Isn't he cute? Look at that. Look at him. Just look at him. When you look at him like this, he was passive like this. You know, when he would come to your doors and so on, he was so passive. It looks like he was dreaming, like he was in a dreamland, you know. And this was his most powerful, strongest adut. Adut, ladies and gentlemen, this is, for those that don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, this is like you have a cards in your sleeve, right? That's why I have a shirt on, which I don't. And you would just put the right card, the main card, to win the game. Yeah. He was excellent at that stuff. He would come to your home, he would come to your surroundings, you know, and he was just giving you, you know, impression, you know, like semi-retarded, you know, till you would get used to his psychology. And then it would just snap around, and before you know, you could have damage in your home, something stolen. This was the most talented. Milan Kučan he all the time exceeded expectations of the Milan Kučan. This was incredible when it comes to Golobić. Golobić was so successful at thefts that he managed to gather. They were like Milan Kučan. He would, you know, they would watch the finances. You know, they were supposed to be students and stuff like this. It's not supposed to have the fucking money. Now they got the job, maybe here and there something, and they were watching also the finances, basically how much money of these guys who had more money on the side saved, you know, saved. And that Golobić, that one was the most talented, man. This guy, man, he was the most proficient, efficient theft machine, con man involved in MK Ultra. He had this special con artist style, talent to even fuck Milan Kučan. He managed to fuck even Milan Kučan. He managed to fuck Borut Pahor. He managed to fuck his associates. He knew exactly how much money you're supposed to have, including from the thefts. The theft, if you got the theft, this was just tiny little percentage of the money. The main money that consisted of the thefts was to take the merchandise that the criminals, gangsters, who even killed people to get stolen merchandise from the Germany, from whatever they were doing the robberies. The main task of Gregor Golobić, of the Robert Golob, of the Borut Pahor was to take the merchandise that would otherwise be completely fucking unacceptable. Out of the question, nobody would go to the Belgrade and meet the resellers. You talking about stores, the Yugoslav stores? I yet have to see which stores in Yugoslavia operated back then, universally throughout the Yugoslavia, that you would meet representatives. I was there with them. This was the task. This is how they were making the money. you would they meet these people. No, me. I was child, basically. I just remember this stuff. Teenager, okay. Meet the representative. This all MILAN KUČAN school. Everything MILAN KUČAN school. All MILAN KUČAN school. Meet the representative of, let's say, like we have a company here, Merkur, or let's say like you have an Aldi in Austria or whatever. And you would meet those people, the site managers, and this is what German police is going to confirm. You know, this is the funniest fucking part about it, man. A lot of stuff they did not even know about today. They're going to learn about what went on in Yugoslavia finally. And if you were a criminal, well-known violent criminal, maybe even with a homicide offense, highly suspicious, the police knew you, but, you know, they turned their heads and they let you go because JOSIP BROZ, this was some form of industry in Yugoslavia, yeah? The half of the Bosnia, entire Serbia, yeah, this is where they you know, go to the store, yeah, you know, you go to the local flea market and voila, you know, it's done. If the criminals, the worst criminals, could not go inside of the store, meet basically the resellers. We have two kinds of resellers. One reseller, you see, now the KRISTJAN GOLUBOVIĆ is learning about this stuff. No, he already knows that. That's why I looked 1987. The first thing I did was I looked for the 1987. He went inside of the, first what they did was they went to the market and they found the usual people that would sell the stuff. Now, this merchandise, somebody was killed in Germany or in Slovenia or in Croatia, was valuable merchandise. Somebody was robbed, somebody was killed. Police was searching for the crime suspect. The Interpol was desperate to find killers, criminals. And it was expected that anything can come out of it. Also that kind of merchandise. And the regular person who would do the resale business of the high-valued merchandise would have zadržak, I don't know how you say that, if the criminal would come to him directly. And beside that, sometimes it was also from the people, they did not want to expose them, whatever, and they had to do this kind of stuff so they would not see through them. So these are like a proxies. They would use like a proxies in between the resellers, different kind of resellers. Resellers from the flea market, mafia resellers, and local mafia, local resellers from the flea market and or from the stores, like store, you know what I mean? Used merchandise, you could purchase the used merchandise in the store, in Merkur, in Yugoslavia, in whatever store they had, whatever fucking stores they have in Yugoslavia. They were selling you a new smartphone for let's say 1,000 dinars, whatever. They did not have a smartphone, so I'm just giving you fucking radio or watch or whatever it was, I don't know, you know, Casio, 1,000 dinars, whatever, and then you have some local brand here, let's say Iskra or whatever, radio, whatever, it would be maybe still fucking crazy, you know, 750 dinars, even that it was worth maybe 200 dinars and shit like this. And on the side, however, you would also have like this, away from the new merchandise, right? The way they were doing this shit also here in Slovenia, but I don't know how that was. In the city of the Novo Mesto, maybe the same thing, who the fuck knows. They also had used merchandise. And sometimes in some stores, they even have under the, you know, under the table, they would also, you know, he would also go and he would go, and he would say, you know, we have this also, you know, you're not supposed to ask him where the fuck he got it, you know, because he smuggled that from Austria or from Germany. It was new, he got it, whatever the fuck he got it. Supposedly, I don't know. This is the way this stuff operated. That really yielded money. That really yielded money. Now, when they were doing the count of the money, I was actually even present. It was like this, that Borut Pahor had something supposedly symbolically. This is the way they portrayed. And then it was, he learned about everybody. He learned, Gregor Golobić, he learned about how much which guy had, you know. And the only thing the fuck he did was, he was smart. He did talk, he even spoke to me about this stuff. He said that he was in trouble because he had the fucking serious fucking money. They had shit, not really shit. They had a lot of fucking money from this stolen money that they accumulated. These people would buy themselves fucking cars, man. But nobody was buying himself a car like a Gregor Golobić. Gregor Golobić, when he pulled his fucking money out, it was a Volkswagen Golf, man. They were buying themselves used Fiats and shit. Usually Miran Sodin and stuff. They were buying themselves shit. You know, Stoyadin maybe, something like this, whatever. But you should see Gregor Golobić. He did not go like others. He did some extra robberies. He did some extra stuff. He did some extra brokerage. He even do the shit that he not supposed to. He actually did so much shit that he was told that he's no longer qualified. And he was not the only one. There was several of these MILAN KUČAN is students that no longer were fucking qualified for the positions. That's how fucking ambitious, man, Gregor Golobić was. He was extremely talented, voracious. He really knew how to get you. You know, acted like semi-retarded, you know, like you would have a regular guy coming to you, you know, for a visit. In 10 minutes, 15 minutes, was a psych training, literally trained. Your defense, your alert, your suspicion, you know, just when you meet new people. This one would smash or destroy you all your guards down within like half a fucking hour. Hey, you had a feeling that you had a guy, that you know him already all your fucking life, that he grew up next door to you. When in fact, he was just waiting for the moment to happen. And boom, and that was it, man. They worked like highly organized mafia. And when I say they, there are employees I suspect that are still employed at Novo Mesto police station who would do exactly the same fucking thing. Police officers that would travel to the Belgrade, that would be meeting over there with the crime bosses, etc., and stealing, buying, in a parenthesis, buying shit with some Slovenian cretin would not get, didn't have enough money to afford himself. He was a good friend from the Novo Mesto police station, would do you a favor, you know, instead of buying for a fucking stereo, paying I don't know how much money for it, car stereo, whatever, or stereo, whatever, you know, maybe some police officer from Novo Mesto police station, some investigator would be so, you know, soft. Psychiatrist Peter Kapsch knows all about it. He was present about it. You know, he's gonna have a whole lot to tell about his ventures in Belgrade. And he would have enough mercy on you, and he would bring you from the Belgrade, something that you could not even get anywhere in Slovenia, for half of the cost. etc., etc., etc. This is the way they operate. And then you get to collect the money also from the guy in Slovenia and so on and so forth. They collected really a lot of money, really, but Gregor Golobić was really, he left them in a dust, I understand. Some got disqualified, and in case of Borut Pahor, he had to stop. He was the first one who stopped. Then he still let go. He was very smart. He still let go this shit to go on. And then one day he positioned himself in a rightful mode. And the day when they stopped stealing the shit is when KRISTJAN Golubović returned from the Germany. KRISTJAN Golubović was extremely, extremely talented. He grew up. If that was not his father, then who the fuck was his father? He looked like his father in Germany. I don't understand about the Goli Otok. I would really like to learn about the Goli Otok, about the KRISTJAN Golubovic's Goli Otok, because I have a feeling that KRISTJAN Golubovic's father had a double A life, double ID. I remember him, the way he looked. So it's impossible that one father of KRISTJAN Golubović would be at the Goli Otok, at the same time another father of KRISTJAN Golubović would be in the Germany. That makes no fucking sense, that kind of stuff. That's a really interesting question, but I'm not gonna say anything. I have to go over, see. They were trying to prove that I'm insane, and they knew that KRISTJAN Golubović is gonna play a big role in all this stuff. Now, when the KRISTJAN Golubović returned from Germany in 1987, this is when Borut Pahor pulled the plug. Stop! Stop! He started to talk after the first was Milan Kučan spoke to Borut Pahor, and then it was Borut Pahor who break down onto Robert Golob, and they almost couldn't fucking stop the Gregor Golobić. The Gregor Golobić was, it appeared to me, was addicted to this shit. This is what I know about these wonderful people here, that Borut Pahor became eventually Slovenian president, not Yugoslav, but he became Slovenian president. Robert Golob is a Slovenian prime minister. For Gregor Golobić, it did not work out this much, but Milan Kučan became the first Slovenian president. These people have to explain about this stuff, about the Belgrade, about all this stuff I was talking to you about on this video. Now, I highly recommend you the video below. That's a beautiful video. Oh man, I remember these guys from Novo Mesto police station. That's why I said that Gregor Golobić is really a comic. He's a commission. He's like from some kind of a comedy or something like that. But I don't know. I think the karma caught up with him. The video below is exactly the way it was. It was not necessarily criminals that would come in your house to rob you. You could get robbed on a flea market. You could get robbed inside of your store. This was Yugoslavia. Yugoslavia. No, fuck no. Not somebody like myself, not supposed to know the stuff like that, unless I was there. And as you can tell, I was there. I was there very, very, very much. Me remember this stuff very, very good about these wonderful people. And that's what Slovenian people are. You remember the article about the Čuši? Huh? You remember that Čuš article about the Čuši, Slovenci Čuši? We're going to talk about that stuff. I'm going to bring it on, and we're going to discuss about these issues. Get down and dirty and get it done. Failed to mention to you, they didn't want to sell merchandise from KRISTJAN Golubović. but they did broker merchandise from KRISTJAN GOLUBOVIĆ. Novo Mesto police station did, Borut Pahor did, Gregor Golobić did, Robert Golob did. They continue to broker even the stuff from neighbor here, METOD JERMAN is his name, METOD JERMAN, was involved in brokerage of the stolen criminal stuff as well. A higher investigated METOD JERMAN. They did anyways. They're not supposed to but when it was something, as they said, hot stuff, they helped also to the KRISTJAN GOLUBOVIČ. So just so that you understand what the fuck this was. This shit with the KRISTJAN GOLUBOVIČ, because of the violence, however, it was greatly reduced. They did fall under the international suspicion. I'm talking about Milan Kučan, Borut Pahor, Gregor Golobić, Robert Golob, and they greatly tuned down. The British started to suspect them, Germans started to suspect them, etc., etc. Milan Kučan did not stop till 2001. In 2001 they really stopped. So just so you know, so just so you understand, 1987, even all the way to 2000, there was still shit. They would still get the stuff, dirty stuff done. They would still, no, they stopped sometimes in 1990. They tuned down like around like 1994, maybe 95, 96. They tuned down. They really tuned down 95, 96, and they finally completely stopped because of British royals suspect them, their involvement in it. The whole thing came under the too big scrutiny. They had to stop. Sometimes in 98, 99, 2000. Slowly. So wonderful people. Slovenia! Now you're learning the Slovenian language the proper way.